Welcome to Midfield SportsCast.
And the 13th episode of the Divided Friendship Podcast. Today it is me, Maddyx. It is Dawson. It's Luke. Pod 13, like usual, Week 8 review, Week 9 prediction, upset of the week. Then we got a little hot topic. We go straight into the Michigan investigation, the thoughts on the scouting stuff. Then we go to the OSU and Michigan preview and recap. All right. I think we start the day off talking about the rankings for the top 5 games. Top 5 games of the week from last week. Like always, we predict the games and we have a point system. Now, in first place is me with 51. And second is Dawson with 40.
Oh my
Third,
gosh.
Luke with 34. And last, Quentin with 32. I'm running away with this one. I'm still up by a lot, up by 11.
Comeback time.
All right.
Come back.
We'll see.
He came back. I'm coming back.
I came back. I wasn't last.
I know.
All right. Now it's into the Week 8 review. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games to talk about. We're going to try to get this podcast done fairly quickly. Like the last one was only 22 minutes.
That was crazy speed. Because we didn't have the all-time professional yapper.
Yapspin.
All right, mister, because I was in Cincinnati.
See, he's yapping
Luke,
again.
Go into the first.
First off, we can start with North Carolina getting upset by probably the worst ACC school.
All right.
That was only Virginia's second win on the season. Second win.
Drake May, the interception at the end cost them. That was the game.
It's not even like he had a bad game the whole game. I mean, he threw 24 for 48, 347 yards, 2 touchdowns. It was just that last
Completion
interception.
Percentage is not very good.
Not very good.
Well, in terms of yards and touchdowns, he did good.
QBR was 44.
I just said in terms of yards.
He got outplayed by Tony Musket.
Ooh. What is that?
I'm not going to yap.
Anyways, Oregon's running game, however, Amarion Hampton, 112 yards,
Ooh.
no touchdowns. Huh?
You said Oregon. You said Oregon's running game.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
You're tweaking.
I'm not.
Did you hear Oregon? Nah. North Carolina's running game, Amarion Hampton, 112 carries. Whoa, I'm tweaking today. My brain is fried. 112 yards, no touchdowns. Whew. Oh my gosh, that was rough. Virginia, Mike Collins had 3 rushing touchdowns. And, I mean, just what a shocker. They won that.
I don't see the Virginia continuing on this hot note. I think
No.
they'll continue to be sucky. But
This is just the downfall of North Carolina.
North Carolina, I mean, so much hype before the year started. And Drake May really has not lived up to it fully. I said it before, and then the next week he proved me wrong, so maybe he will next week. But that's my thoughts on it. It's still a lot better than them Clemson Tigers, who we weren't going to talk about this game, but Clemson got beat again. Now 4-3.
Yeah.
Dabo got to use the portal.
I was just
That's all I'm
going
gonna
to
say on that
game.
game.
But,
Let's go to a different game.
yeah, that 2 overtimes. Good game on Miami. They just outplayed Clemson. And it's weird to see Clemson being 4-3.
Yeah.
That's.
He's got to use the portal, and he's got to get better NIL. Continue.
I got another game.
All right.
Utah and USC in Los Angeles
In the Coliseum.
in the Coliseum. It came down to the wire. It came down to the wire in this one. 34-32 final score. Caleb Williams, 24 for 34, 256 yards. Didn't get into the end zone at all. But Bryson Barnes, 14 for 23 for Utah.
Walk-on pig farmer.
The walk-on pig farmer, yes. 14 for 23, 235 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. That last second field goal, man. This is I believe the third straight time that they've lost to Utah.
and the Heisman Trophy winner gets outplayed by a walk-on quarterback
Yeah.
that nobody knew who he was.
Yeah, I didn't even have a clue this guy existed until I looked at the stats just now.
J.J. McCarthy's front runner for Heisman.
Yeah.
After, are we done talking about this game?
I mean, yeah, but like, who's he played again? Can you tell me one team?
It doesn't matter.
One top 25 team.
Stats
A
don't
win is a
lie.
win.
Stats.
A win is a win. A win is a win.
I didn't say anything about your wins. I'm just talking stat-wise. He's won right now, but I mean, an Ohio State quarterback has been won every single freaking year.
If you put him as the Ohio State quarterback right now, you swap him and Kyle McCord, he's first in Heisman.
Well, I mean, we've played 2 top 10 teams.
I know, and he would have ran him.
Nah, I don't know about all that.
I do.
I mean, 3 picks against Bowling Green ain't gonna cut it.
Those are his only 3 picks of the year.
How many picks does Kyle McCord have?
I don't know. You tell me.
1.
Okay.
1.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else does he do? He has
throws
He has Marvin Harrison Jr. That's it.
He throws Cade Stover.
No.
Marv. He has no
Marvin
running
Harrison
to back
Jr.
him up either.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
He has one of the Kyle McCord has one of the best receiving cores to back him up. Not in the run game. He doesn't have a really good run game, but
I'm not saying he doesn't.
But his receiving core, listen to this. You got Marvin Harrison Jr., Amika Egbuka. I should just stop right there. Then
Hold up. We're going off topic.
Very.
Yeah.
McCord has nothing to do. I don't think McCord should be first in the Heisman. And I'm not arguing McCarthy shouldn't be first in the Heisman. I'm just saying that he's not going to win it. I'm just saying he's not going to.
If he pops off against Ohio State, he's winning.
You get your hopes up, like Fields, Haskins, Stroud, all of them first in the Heisman for weeks, and then that one game and they're gone.
I know McCarthy was first in the Heisman just this week.
You can't have one bad game.
He won't.
If you're Alabama though, Bryce Young, he plays bad, he's staying at 1. Doesn't matter. But the Big Ten, they just hate the Big Ten. If McCarthy wins, good for that guy. But I don't think he will.
All right, we're starting to yap.
Next game, let's go to the Iowa Fair Catch. Iowa
Controversy.
Iowa again, no offense, all special teams, and
per usual.
The returner, right?
Cooper DeJean,
one of the best corners in college football. He's pointing at the ball, right? Pointing at his teammates to run away, like just to get away the ball so it doesn't hit him. They call his left hand is like shaking when he's doing it, like
no, it's
moving around,
circling.
winding it. They call that a fair catch after the fact that he returns it for a touchdown, giving Iowa the lead with under 2 minutes.
I disagree with that. I think as soon as he touches that ball, you gotta call it dead.
But
let that play out. That should have never happened.
You have to put into account, 1, they didn't call it on the field. 2, none of the Minnesota defenders stopped. They all kept running at him. 1 actually dove and tried to tackle him at the beginning. Multiple did. He weaved through the entire defense, whatever they're called. And then he scored. Nobody stopped. It was not a fair catch. A touchdown should have stood. Anybody else have any thoughts?
No.
All I think is if they wanted to call it a fair catch, they should have called it dead as soon as he touched the ball.
Yep.
And then I wouldn't have had as much of a problem with it. Next, we can go Washington and Arizona State. Pac-12 late night game per usual. I fell asleep during this one. Washington had a huge pick 6 in the fourth quarter to seal the game for him. No offensive touchdowns. Michael Penix threw 2 interceptions.
I mean, penalties, like that. I saw one clip of pass interference clearly from a Washington secondary, and they did not call it, and it looked like the refs just wanted Washington to win. But Washington does win. They definitely are going to fall in my rankings. Arizona State doesn't have a win against a Power 5 opponent.
Not very impressive.
Michael, he did not bring that big Penix energy. He threw 2.
This guy. Holy crap.
You gotta have that
big Penix energy.
Oklahoma nearly loses to UCF, a UCF team that's nowhere near how good they were back when they almost made the playoffs. A UCF team with some quarterback issues. I thought they would be fun to watch. I said that. I thought Reese Plumlee, whatever you say. I thought he was going to be a decent quarterback, fun to watch. He turns the ball over a lot, but he almost knocks off.
That would have been crazy if their first win as a Big 12 school came against a top 5 ranked team on the road.
Well,
That would
2
have been
points short.
wild.
A terrible.
Because a terrible two-point conversion call.
What was that?
That was so bad. Dylan Gabriel against his former school.
A lot of emotion into that game, but he didn't get it done. Or he got it done.
Barely.
He got it done, sorry.
Anyways.
Last game. Or we got 2 games left. The more boring game first. Well, they're both, if you look at it one way, they're both kind of boring. But Alabama, Tennessee.
Alabama, 27 straight points. 27 in the second half.
The nothing deficit early in that one, and then they fight their way back.
They really could have been down 21-0.
Going into that, every Alabama game, you know that there's probably going to be an interception. There's going to be turnovers. He turns the ball over a lot. But he's the best quarterback they got, easily.
For sure. Dual threat.
Luke, have any thoughts on this one?
Well, I was watching this game. Tennessee had a huge lead headed into the half, and they just couldn't do anything in the second half. I mean, it almost looked as bad as Penn State's offense, but Maddyx is going to talk about that one later.
We all will.
Well, yeah, but they didn't look very good in the second half. A phenomenal first half, both sides of the ball. They had a phenomenal first half, but this second half, all the momentum, everything just shut down.
The game of the week was kind of boring.
If you're not a Big Ten football fan, it was boring to you.
If you're a Big Ten football fan, you like that. You love that kind of game.
Defensive football at its finest here.
Big Ten football, exactly what they're bringing.
2 of the 3 best defenses in college football. The other one, another Big Ten team.
Big Ten East team.
You look here, Alar was very flustered in this game.
He's very bad.
18 for 42 for 191 and a touchdown.
That's like your completion percentage in Madden.
A touchdown in garbage time.
You can't win games going 18 for 42. That was...
You look at also, if you go to... They went 1 for 16 on 3rd down and 1 for 3 on 4th down. So 2 for 19 total.
The 1 for 16 was on a late 3rd down, too.
And the touchdown drive they had at the end, which our defense should not have been in that position. But final score was 20-12 Ohio State. Passing-wise, the Nittany Lions had 191. The Buckeyes with 286. McCord played fairly well. He started the game hot, 5 for 5. Then he could not hit an open receiver from nothing. Then he settled in. 22 for 35 for him. Rushing, both teams did not run the ball. Penn State with 49 total. Ohio State with 79 total. We ran it 41 times. They ran it 26. You told me that before the game. I would said Penn State rushed it 41 times.
I think Penn State needed to run it more, especially because Drew Aller couldn't get anything going offensively in the air. You need to get the ball to your 2 talented backs.
1.9 yards per rush for both teams.
Yeah, that's
defense.
Not very good.
Yeah, it's not good. Then, a little bit controversial. It's 3-3. Buckeyes have the ball in Penn State territory. McCord stripped, recovered, returned, touchdown Penn State. Momentum shifter. Laundry.
So we thought.
Marv was held by Kalen King. It was a good call, in my opinion. I mean, he was clearly holding him, but anybody got thoughts on that?
No, I mean it was a holding. Ruined
saw
a good
so
play.
much stuff
I
about.
was getting excited because I thought Penn State. Now I know that I'm a Michigan fan. And
He hates Ohio State more than he likes Michigan. I'm telling you.
that's not true, but I hate Ohio State a lot. I don't know what I'd set out for, but I do hate Ohio State a lot. Being a Michigan fan, it comes in the blood. Michigan State and Ohio State, big no-nos. So I was jumping up and down when Penn State scored, and then there's a flag on the play, holding defense, and
It was clearly holding.
it was clearly holding. But I was trying to do my best
I was
announcer voice.
expecting a lot more out of the Penn State secondary, to be honest with you. I thought Kalen King and Marv would have been a way better matchup than it was. They didn't really man Marv a lot. They couldn't. They had double-teamed him more than... Then we started running the ball fairly well, so then they took off the double team, and then he ends up with 11 receptions, 162 yards, and a touchdown. Bails us out of this game, pretty much.
He's had career games against Penn State both years he's played against them.
You know who else has? J.T. Tuimoloau. Soon as the fourth quarter starts, the first play of the fourth quarter, sack. Then he had a deflection on fourth down, gives us the ball back. I mean, that guy, he turns it on against Penn State in the fourth quarter for some reason.
All right, on to
Top 5 games of the week. Of week 9. 9. It's been 9 weeks of college football.
College football is almost over already.
Can you believe it?
Just like that, almost over.
I think we should talk about college basketball during the offseason.
We definitely could.
And the NFL playoffs, obviously.
That was not a defensive pass interference on the Colts. Colts should have beat the Browns.
Stop, I'm cutting this out anyway.
Let me rant. Okay, first game we have is Oklahoma versus Kansas. Oklahoma's number 6. Yep. Oklahoma opens as 10-point favorites in this one. Luke, what do you got?
All right, Oklahoma coming off of that scare against UCF, playing a good Kansas team. They are deserving of a ranked spot, but they aren't ranked. I wouldn't put them in my top 25, but I'm saying they're deserving of being a top 25 team.
Huh? How does that make any sense?
What'd you do?
He said they deserve a top 25 spot, but you wouldn't put them in the top.
I don't mean they deserve a top 25 spot. I mean they have the talent. And
that is word for word what you said.
I did word it wrong. What I meant was they have the talent and potential to be a ranked team, but they aren't. So give me the Sooners though. I'm gonna go 30-24.
All right. Oklahoma didn't really have a good showing.
Who's the quarterback
for Kansas? I don't even know, dude. But also something completely off topic. Cam Rising shut down for the season.
He's going to redshirt and he's going to play next year.
Yep, he's going to be 27. I really don't know how old he is. He's old. Anyways, off topic. Give me Kansas to win this one. I'm going to go 26-25.
I'm going to go here and say that I've been high on Kansas all year, but without knowing if Daniels is playing or not, I'm going with Oklahoma. I'm going 34-24, actually.
Oh my gosh, bro. Christian Watson's so bad.
Next game.
I'm mad. All right, next game we got. It's a rivalry game. Number 1 Georgia against Florida. That one is neutral site. Georgia is favored by 14.5 going into this one.
Honestly, Florida is gonna have a good lead at one point, but Georgia's gonna be able to get it done. Give me the Bulldogs. A little high scoring here. I'm gonna go 41-34.
Let me jump Philly here. I'm going to go not easily, but I think it's a fairly easy prediction. But I think it'll be closer than what the experts say. Georgia 24-20, low scoring win.
I agree with MedPat. I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people anticipate it to be, but I just don't think Florida has the amount of talent that Georgia has. So I'm going to go Georgia 27, Florida 17.
All right, now into the third game of the top 5. What we got?
The third game we have is number 8 Oregon going into Utah to face the 13 ranked Utes.
Utah coming off that victory over a very good USC team, and Oregon coming off of a victory against a good Washington State team. I think I have Oregon in my playoffs. Their only loss so far coming to Washington.
Also, I'm going to just pause them right here. We had our first correct score prediction of the year in our game.
We did. Quentin
predicted Oregon to win 38-24. That's what the score was. So, congrats to him. He's not with us today, but
yeah, he
good job.
Passed on. He's no longer
what do you
with
mean?
us.
Oh my God. Okay, continue.
He's not dead. All right.
Maybe he is. I don't think so, but
I hope not. I think Oregon gets it done, keeps their playoff hopes alive. I think they eliminate Utah, and I'm gonna go Oregon. High scoring game, 48-45.
You know, this is bold, but I honestly think this could be the first year a 2-loss team makes it into the playoffs. From the Pac-12. It has to be Pac-12.
I think there's too many teams with 1 to no losses right now.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying the chances are at an all-time high.
All right.
The Pac-12 is a gauntlet. But I'm going to take the Ducks 30-19.
Luke, you said Ducks 48-45. I am also not going to go with the Ducks. I'm going with Utah.
My gosh.
At home after a huge dub at USC. I think they pick up a huge dub at home. I think Utah wins again. I have them winning 28-17. Low scoring Pac-12. Shocker.
All right, next game we have number 20 Duke headed into Louisville to face the number 18 ranked Cardinals.
I'm gonna go with the Blue Devils here. I think that Duke, coming off of that loss to Florida State, they are gonna be hungry for a win.
Hungry.
They're gonna get it done. I'm gonna say Duke 27-17.
All right, I'm also gonna go Duke. We're gonna go Duke by a score of 33-14. Actually, I lied. 33-21.
I'm going to go with Louisville. I don't see Riley Leonard playing in this game. Getting injured again. Injury to his ankle again. I don't think he should play. I don't think he will play. I have Louisville winning 28-24 at home.
All right. This is the final game of this week. We have number 11 Oregon State headed to face off with the Arizona Wildcats, who are low-key a sneaky team. Well, they have 3 losses, so it's kind of hard to put them in. All right, Luke.
All right. Arizona versus Oregon State. I had Arizona in my upset of the week beating Washington State, and they obliterated Washington State.
Great pick.
44-6, I think, was the score. Something around.
A lot to a little.
Yeah, a lot to a little.
Facts.
Washington State beat Oregon State. So, in mathematical conclusions here, give me Arizona. I think that they're going to get it done over Oregon State and secure a spot in the top 25. 28-24 final.
Give him the Arizona.
I forgot what their name is.
I'm going to take the Beavers in this one. I think their offense is too skilled. I'm going to go Oregon State 24, Arizona 20.
I'm going to agree with Philly on this one. I'm going Oregon State. DJ Ukabadugi. Once again, 39-31. DJ was not the problem in Clemson.
Nope. All right. Now, that concludes that segment. We head to our upset of the week, where I'm going to start it off because mine's kind of already spoiled. I'm taking the Kansas Jayhawks over Oklahoma for my upset.
All right, this is going to be a very bold prediction right here. Going to turn some heads. I think
Florida is beating Georgia.
Florida now. I think that just recently entering the top 25, James Madison. I think the Old Dominion beats James Madison, takes them out of the top 25. Old Dominion, they're not a bad team. I'm not saying they're good, but they're not a bad team. They've had some dogfights with a lot of good teams, and I think that they're going to do it against James Madison. I think that they're going to pull off this upset. It's going to be difficult, but I think they have what it takes to do it.
We're low-key James Madison sneak dissers.
What I mean?
We diss James Madison a lot.
All right.
Randomly.
My upset of the week. I'm going to go to the 4-3 Rice Owls beating 6-1 22nd ranked Tulane at home.
Oh, no.
The Rice Owls are close.
No!
They
No.
go to 5-3. They will make a bowl game this year. They will not be close anymore. Rice will be back.
The hot topic of the week.
Indeed.
Oh, facts. Michigan supposedly caught illegally stealing their opponent's signs and signals for use of a competitive advantage.
This is my opinion. This is an Ohio State fan talking. If they stealing signs at a game, during the game, not illegal. Say they played Rutgers, say they sent somebody to steal signs from Rutgers in a previous Rutgers game. That is illegal. That is what they're being investigated for. If they actually did that, yes, they should get a penalty because they know they can't do that. This is hard because I'm trying not to be biased, but in my heart, I want to be biased. If they get a huge penalty, I'm going to be very happy. That's just an Ohio State fan. But I think whatever game they did steal from, maybe you take that win away or something like that. I don't know if you can figure out what games they stole signs from. I don't know if they can do that. Maybe they get wins taken away. I think probably money. If Jim Harbaugh did it, if it's Jim Harbaugh's fault, whoever's fault it is, maybe a game suspension. I don't know. It's hard for me to make a statement on it when you don't have the facts. And right now there is no evidence out. The investigation's not over, and I think until the investigation is over, you kind of have to be neutral.
Kind of have to just ignore it.
You kind of have to be neutral right now. You can't say they did steal signs because it's investigated. But
you can't say they didn't either.
Exactly. You have to say neutral. I think that's a fair statement for an Ohio State fan to make. Don't you?
Yeah.
All right. My opinion on this, I really don't get why, if we did do this, we would do this. We're a good team. There's no point in getting another advantage. We already have the advantage. We already have an advantage, so there's really no need to get another one. But I do think that I don't think that they should do this, but if the NCAA finds Michigan guilty, then they're going to give them a huge penalty, such as taking away most of their wins. That's my main
concern.
If
we have been doing this for... Obviously, I don't think we would have been doing it in 2020. That team was awful.
Yeah.
They needed to steal the signs.
If you were doing it the past 2 years, imagine... Shut up. You can't even voice crack. Imagine the last 2 years you doing it. The wins against Ohio State get taken.
That's exactly what I was saying earlier.
You never beat Ohio State.
No Big Ten
Our Ohio
champions.
State wins are gone.
No Big Ten
We probably
championships.
won't be the first team to 1,000. Our Big Ten titles will be stripped. Our college football playoff appearances will be stripped. Everything will be vacated. That's like 25 wins vacated right there.
Yeah. And this investigation, obviously, it's not gonna I'd be surprised if they found out, if they got everything concluded by the end of the season. I think that this investigation will take years.
Years. Give me this. I literally told you that yesterday because you asked me the question. You said, how long are they going to take for them to figure this out? And I told you I don't think they'll figure it out this year. I think it'll take a couple years to figure it out. How are you going to just steal what I said and say it? You do this every time with everything. That is word for word, bar for bar what I told you yesterday.
Well,
I don't get it.
I was going to follow up on what Luke said and say, I don't understand why they would steal signs for such a good, talented team. Why would you do that? If you look at the teams you played, if it's from this year, that is the dumbest thing you could have done.
Absolute stupid.
Because you played absolutely nobody at this point in the year. The hardest team you've played is Rutgers. Indiana.
No, I think Rutgers are better.
One of the two.
Anyways, that's besides the point.
If it's this year,
none of them are good.
And if you actually did it, there should be a punishment.
I agree.
Should it be major? I don't know. It depends on the evidence.
It depends on what all we were doing to steal the signs. Like, if we were using technology and stuff, that's bad. But like, if we just have someone there and we can see the signs,
sending like
visibly,
cameras to practice and stuff like that,
that's crazy.
That's bad. If you're just sending somebody there, that's a little bit better. It's better, but you still got to know the rules.
Honestly, here's my thoughts on this too. It's not just Michigan sending people to places to get competitive.
There's definitely more teams. You just got to be good at it. I mean, I'm telling you right now, every team in college football is doing something that's not in between not good. It's not good.
And I swear they're just on Jim Harbaugh's butt because he bought someone a freaking cheeseburger.
Dude, that boy's always shady. He's always flirting with the NFL. He's always lying to the NCAA. I mean, he's got to figure stuff out.
If he knows these allegations are true, he's gone. He's not coming back.
The next head coach of the Chicago Bears, Jim freaking Harbaugh.
No. Also, rumors that Lincoln Riley potentially last year of the coach of USC.
I mean, I think he fits better in the NFL.
I would leave. Take Caleb Williams with me.
And you can have a lot more people working on your defense, I feel like, in the NFL.
And it did say that they would probably have the organization pick his defensive coordinators and stuff of that sort.
All right. Moving on. Thoughts
recap and preview
on the Penn State
We'll go
game?
first.
All right.
Because we just have Michigan State. We have a bye week.
Yeah, all right.
Throw them the rock. Michigan with a huge win for the Paul Bunyan Trophy, 49-0. Yeah, they're not very good. I mean, they started a freshman quarterback. Obviously, could tell he was not ready for that situation.
Not ready.
But no quarterback on their roster was. No player on their roster was.
Yeah, 49-0 is big, especially in a rivalry game away. I mean, I get that Michigan State's not a really good team. Yeah, they're not a good team, but it doesn't matter how good the team is. If it's a rivalry game in a way, it's always going to have some type of factor. And I think this was Michigan's biggest margin of victory this year, or at least one of.
I think it was the biggest margin.
Yeah, 49-point victory. Finally,
on the road.
Finally a shutout. Could have had one against East Carolina. Could have had one against UNL. I'll shut up.
Hey! Yeah, obviously we have an off week before we play Purdue. Big Ten championship rematch of last year.
Yeah, but
then after that, we go to Happy Valley to play Penn State. I'm scared of that, but I'm not as scared as I was before yesterday.
I'm going to be honest here. Even after the Ohio State game, I'm still, I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. This isn't even being biased, I'm still more worried about the Penn State game than I am about Ohio State. Main reason is because we're playing in Happy Valley. We have Ohio State at the Big House. So, I think that Penn State's going to be a more difficult game. Not saying Ohio State won't be difficult, because Ohio State is going to be difficult. but I think it's just going to be a much harder game to win than Ohio State.
Michigan has a bye week next week, so there's nothing for you guys to talk about.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go off of what you said. Me and Dawson have disagreed on this. I think the teams this year, Ohio State and Michigan, this year compared to the last 2 years, match up 1,000% better than they did the last 2 years. Yes, we had more talent. Our defense sucked, and you saw it in both those games. Now our defense is top 5. Michigan's defense is top 5. Michigan's offense is top 15. Ohio State's offense is top 15. I mean, I think they match up better.
I do think that in terms of more hype, the Penn State not Penn State. The Michigan and Ohio State game is going to have more hype built around it, especially if Michigan gets the win in Happy Valley over Penn State, because then it's these teams have wins over top 10 teams. Well, the time being when they played them at least. Well, we can't say anything for Michigan yet. Anyway, both these teams have wins over top 10 teams. They're looking better than they did last year, for the most part.
See, that's what I'm saying. They match up better. Do you agree that they match up better?
I do agree that they match up better, but I just think that Penn State's gonna be.
I'm not saying anything about Penn State. I'm saying, do you think the game will be closer than it was last year? Because I think 100% it will.
Probably. I think no, I'm not. But if the game were to be, if we were to have that game on these predictions as of right now, I would say Michigan 38-35.
Moving on. We're just not going to go there. Okay. Ohio State this week played Penn State. We already went through most of it, but I think the home field advantage helps tremendously for Ohio State there. And
Penn State's offense looked a little lackadaisical.
It did. They could not. It should have been 20-6. Honestly, they should not have gotten the ball. Their defense was put in a bad spot. But our secondary played great with a freshman Jermaine Matthews starting at corner. A freshman out there.
Was he number 24?
24. He played great. In for Denzel Burke. Secondary played great. Up front, they also played great. Linebackers played great. The defense was special. I mean, it was the best performance defensively Ohio State has had since the 2019 Ohio State defense with Chase Young.
Probably.
I think it's easy to say that. Already talked about a lot about the offense, a lot about the defense too. So we're going to move on. We play Wisconsin. Not much to talk about. Tanner Mordecai at quarterback. Braylon Allen.
No, I actually think he was hurt.
Oh, actually? Check.
Wisconsin, though, obviously not as good as people suspected to start the year.
I had him 10.
They had to come from behind against Illinois. It took 18 fourth-quarter points to win. They were down 21-7 going into the fourth. Ended up winning 25-21 against a not good Illinois team. Yeah, their quarterback this game was Braden Locke.
What was his stats?
21 for 41, 240 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, that's
not
decent.
really bad.
Who'd they play?
Illinois.
I mean, I think, like Drew Alar, we pressure him, he's not going to do good. I mean,
Either quarterback, whichever one it is.
5-star Drew Alar couldn't do anything against our defense. So I don't believe that Mordecai or that Locke guy you just said is going to. I think the number one thing for our defense to do is stop Braylon Allen. He's one of the best backs in the country when he has a good team around him. Been not very talked about because their team not very talked about. But
he had 145 yards last game. He has 120 carries, 700 yards, 8 touchdowns.
I mean,
So it's really not.
That's pretty good.
good.
700 yards. Then we got to start Braylon Allen. Offense got to start fast. I love when our defense is on the field first. It just settles our offense in better. Because if we start slow on offense, it's not good for us. I trust the defense to start more than I trust the offense to start. I think the secondary on Wisconsin going to get torched by Marv. I have us winning pretty big. All right. That's it.
That's going to wrap up this episode of Midfield SportsCast's Divided Friendship Podcast. We thank you guys for watching. And we will see you on the next one.
Adios.